number one, I wouldn't encourage anyone to go into the music industry. It's not a good choice for a zillion reasons. But if it is desperately in your heart to be a part of the music industry, I do think I'm of two minds with this as well. So I do think that you can make it work in Fulton, New York. I used to play in Fulton, New York. I can't remember the name of the place, but I used to play some real terrible dive bars in Fulton, New York. And it really depends on the style of music you're trying to do, right? So if you're like, hey, we're going to be like a regional band and we have a regional thing going, there's been tons of bands out of upstate New York that have done well. You know, Sophistafunk comes to mind as a band that's like based out of Syracuse and yet has toured and played all over the world. Brand New Sin is another band that did that. There's been many, many bands that have had success out of upstate New York. So certainly possible. I think you got to kind of assess what your goals are. So if your goals are not attainable in a small town, you want to be a hit songwriter. You're going to have to move to LA or Nashville to do that. I also think for me personally, living in New York, I kind of thought Syracuse, I'm like, oh, I'm the shit. I'm so great. I'm amazing. And then I moved to Nashville and I was immediately squashed into like a little tiny pebble of like, you have so much growth and learning to do. And I don't think that would have ever happened if I'd stayed in Syracuse. So for me, coming down here, getting my ass kicked day in, day out has made me just better at my craft. So yeah, it's a complicated question. I think you got to handle it on a person by person basis, but in general, I would lean towards going to a major music hub is never going to be a bad thing.
And, you know, a lot of people that I know, it goes two ways when you, let's say, just take Nashville. You move from Fulton to, I don't know why I picked Fulton. You move from Fulton to Nashville and you're an aspiring songwriter, you want to be a rock star, whatever it might be. Then you get to Nashville and like you said, you're getting your ass kicked. You realize you were the biggest fish in a very small pond and you get down there and you are a piece of sand in the ocean, and to distinguish yourself seems impossible. So all of a sudden, one of two things happen with most people I see that have moved to one of the major cities. One is their dreams get crushed. They realize they're not anywhere near where they thought they were in their own growth. Or two, they realize they're not anywhere near where they want to be, but now they're around a bunch of people that can get them there. And, you know, I've seen your growth since you moved to Nashville has been amazing. I mean, you went from Syracuse, New York, great musician, to moving down there and doing some amazing writings, getting placements, scoring movies. I mean, you're doing a ton now. And I got to assume being in Nashville had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's zero chance I'd be whatever success I've had. Almost none of it would have ever come if I hadn't moved. And some of that is a factor of the place. Some of that is a factor of just becoming more humble and more curious, and just understanding that like music is so much bigger than one person, and you have to always be open to growth and always be open to criticism and always be open to learning. And moving here showed me that in a way that like I said, living in Syracuse, I kind of thought I got it all figured out. I'm good to go. I'm great. And then coming down here just opens your eyes to a whole new world. I'm sure if I packed up right now and I moved to LA or New York City, I would have a similar experience again. Even though I think I know everything down here, I'd be shown a whole new music. I mean, I did live in LA, but I'd be shown a whole new music world that would be like, oh, there's these avenues as well. There's certainly so many avenues in music that I was not aware of that moving to a place like Nashville has taught me. I do see some of the similar things you've mentioned. Probably half the people seem like when I moved down here about a decade ago. When I moved down here, there was like a rush of people. I think country was just getting big. People saw opportunity. A lot of people moved here when I moved here. And now I would say, I don't know the exact numbers, but a small percentage of those people still remain. And of that small percentage, an even smaller percentage is still attempting to do what I suppose I am trying to do, or what, attempting to still have a songwriting artist career. A lot of folks have pivoted. I have friends that have pivoted into the commercial music space. I have friends that have pivoted into the custom songs for people's birthdays space. I have friends that have pivoted into, oh, you know what, I might do better off as a merch guy for this person, or maybe I'm a guitar tech. So that does happen. So the desperately holding on to your dreams thing, if you're a psychopath like I am, great. If you're a normal person, I would tell people don't be afraid to pivot, because there's a lot of wonderful opportunities that are still creative or creative adjacent that will present themselves to you. And I would just tell people, say yes and just see where it goes.
Totally agree. That's tricky.